All right, I promise that I will be applying the methods that I use to construct isometric circles to solve a problem which has to do with the use of that methods to construct an isometric object. So here we have a question, and the question says a dustbin is made from a 3 mm thick metal. The top and bottom external diameters are 80 mm and 60 mm respectively, while the depth is 70 mm. Construct the isometric view of the dustbin. Construct the isometric view of the dustbin. So we have to make use of the dimensions given to produce the dustbin. Okay, so the thickness of the metal used in making the dustbin is 3 mm. So that is very important. Okay, the top and bottom external diameters are 80 mm and 60 mm. So external diameters, that of the top is 80 mm and that of the bottom is 60 mm, and the depth or the height of the dustbin is 70 mm. So let's go and look at how this can be done. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is to draw the horizontal line, as I've done here. Since it is an isometric object, so you take your 30-degree set square, and you set it on your T-square. Okay, so set it on your T-square like this and draw this receding line, then you turn it like this. Okay, so set it at this point here and draw the right receding line like this. Okay, so now what we want to do is that we are going to construct a cuboid. So the height of the cuboid will be 70 mm, which is the depth of the dustbin, and the length of the cuboid will be 80 mm, which is the external diameter of the top part of the top face. So what I mean is this: on this line here, take 80 mm, measure 80 mm from this point, measure 80 mm. So this is 80 mm here. Okay, this is my 80 mm, and here also you do the same thing. Take 80 mm on the left receding line, so from here. Okay, so here we have 80 mm. All right, so then I need to erect a vertical line at this point here. I need to erect a vertical line at this point, on which I am to measure 70 mm, which is the depth of the dustbin. Okay, so draw a vertical line. So draw a vertical line here. Okay, so on this line, so you measure 70 mm. Measure 70 mm on this line. So this is 70 mm. So this is 70 mm. Okay, now so at this point and at this point, we draw a vertical line at each point, or on each point. So vertical line here, and move it your set square to this side and draw a vertical line. Okay, now, so next thing I need to do is that I will transfer this point. I will transfer this point with the use of my set square to the other lines. Okay, this goes like this, and I'll turn my set square like this. Okay, so turning my set square like this, I can transfer this to this side. Then, so this point here, so draw a line from this point. So draw a line from this one. So what we are doing is that we want to produce an isometric cuboid. Then from here, so turn your set square like this and transfer this point to this side. So this is a cuboid. So it's a cuboid because the length is 80 mm and the height is 70 mm, which is the depth of the dustbin. So the next thing that we are going to do now is that we are going to divide this into two. Then we divide this into two. That is 40 40. 80 by 2 will give us 40 mm. So you divide this into two equal parts. So here is 40 mm, and here also. So here I have, so this is 40 mm. Okay, so on each of these points you draw with your set square. So with your set square, so transfer this point to the other side. Transfer this point to the other side. Okay. So transfer this point to the other side. Okay. And also transfer this point to the other side. Okay. All right. So now, so after doing this, next thing that we are going to do is that we need to make use of the thickness of the metal used in making the dustbin, which is 3 mm. Okay, now when you look at okay, let me use this. Okay, look at this paper tape. Now we have one internal circle and we have external circle. So if you look at your dustbin, you will see that the upper part of it has two circles. There is one internal circle and there is one external circle, and there is a thickness like this in between the internal and the external circles. Okay, so the same thing applies to the dustbin that you want to construct. So there are two circles, one is internal, one is external. So the thickness or the distance between the internal circle and the external circle is 3 mm as said in the question. I'm using that 3 mm that we are told that the thickness of the metal that was used to make the dustbin is 3 mm. So now, so how can we make something like this so that we can have the internal and the external circle? Now what we are going to do is that, since we know that the diameter of the external circle is 80 mm and the thickness of the metal that was used to produce the dustbin is 3 mm. So to now get diameter of the internal circle, so what we do is that we subtract 3 mm from 80 mm, and that will give us 77 mm. That is the diameter of the internal circle. Okay, now as I've said, now the next thing that we are going to do is that, okay, before that, let me explain this again. Now this square that we constructed, it is for external circle. It is for external circle, this one, because the length here is 80 mm, 80 mm, 80 mm, 80 mm. So this is for external circle because the diameter of the external circle is 80 mm. So for internal circle now as we have calculated the diameter of the internal circle, and that is 77. Then the next thing that you need to do is that divide that 77 by 2, and that will give you 38.5. 38.5. So the next thing that we are going to do now is that from this point here, from this point here, from this point, so we take a 38.5 mm. Okay, all right, so 38.5 mm. So 38.5 mm, that may be it may be somehow uneasy, but you have to be careful. So 38.5 mm, 38.5 mm. Okay, so this is where I have my 38, and 38.5 will be in the middle of 38 and 39. So be careful, set your, okay, so I have this point, okay, I have this point. Then on this side here, I will look for where I have 77. So this is, okay, so here I have 77 here. So this is where I have 77. Okay, so this is where I have 77. So on this side too, I will do the same thing. On this side, I will do the same thing. So just take it easy. You don't have to rush. Just take it easy. Okay. Okay. So this is my 38.5 here. Is 38.5, and I will put a dot here. Okay, so put a dot here. Okay, then on this side I'll look for 77. Okay, so this is 77. Okay, so this is 77. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I will construct a square with this. I'll construct a square with this. So take your set square, set it here. So draw. So draw a line here. So bring it to this place. Bring it to this point, and you draw this. Okay, so next is, so turn your set square like this, but before that I need to extend this a bit. Okay, so for this one, so set it like this. So set your set square at this point, and you draw. Okay, and then this line is not straight. It's not okay. Alright, so it's better. So the next is bring it to this point here. So on this point, so draw a line. Draw a straight line. Okay, now, all right, so this square that we have produced is for the internal circle. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is that so this point here, and this point on this inner square, So join them together with a straight line. Join them together with a straight line. So join them together with a straight line. So connect them together. So using a straight line. Okay. So this goes like this. Okay. So and then this point here, so join it with this point, and you also join this point, join it to this point here. So this goes like this. So you draw a line from here. So it goes like this, and from this point, so draw a line from here. All right. So and you come to this point now. You come to this point on this inner square, on the inner square. So join this point to this point. So draw a straight line from here. So draw a straight line from here. Okay. So you also join it to this point here. So that you can have 4 center points. You can have 4 center points. That is the method I used to produce the isometric square, isometric circle. Isometric circle. So we have this point now. So we have this point. So this is the point. So where we are going to, so we have another point here. So there is a point here. So we have this point. So I will call this point, I will call it 1, and this point is 2. So this point is 3, and this point is 4, where we are going to put our compass to draw the circle, the inner circle. So put your compass at this point, and you extend it to this point here. Extend it to this point here. Extend it here, and then let's test it with this. Okay, it works. So draw. So from here, so draw an arc like this. Draw an arc like this. Okay. So this is the arc. Okay, then bring it to this point here. Bring it to this point. So bring it here. So check it. Okay, and okay. All right, so you can draw from here now. So draw an arc from here. Okay. All right, so the next is, so put your compass at this point here, at this point 3. So extend it here. Extend it here, and test it with this. It works. So be very careful when you are doing it. Just take it easy, so you don't have to rush. So draw an arc from here, then take it to this point 4. Extend it here. Okay. All right, so it works. So draw an arc like this. Okay, so we have the inner circle now. So we have the inner circle. So the next one that we are going to do is to draw the outer circle, or the external circle. So to draw the external circle, so we are joining this point here on the external square. So we are joining these 2 points together. So join them together like this straight line. So join them together, the straight line. Okay, so we join this together, the straight line. So the next is from this point here, from this point on the external square, and this point on the external square. So you join this point to this point here on the external square. We are working on the external square now. So excuse me. So draw a line from here. Draw a line from here. Okay, then from this point, draw a line from here to join this point on the external square. So this is it. So it goes like this. Then from this point now on the external square, so draw a line to join this point. This is it. Okay, so draw a line. All right, so and also from this same point, draw a line to join this point. So that comes like this. Okay, now so we have it. So the next thing that we are going to do is that, so here we have what? Here we have this point here. So here we have, so we have this point. So we have this point. So this is the point. So we have the point here. And for this one, you have to be very careful so that you will not get confused. So we have this point here. Okay, so put your compass at this point. At some point 2. So extend it to this point. Extend to this point on the external square. On the external square. So extend it to this point on the external square. So, all right. So, okay. So we have it here. So test it with this one. Okay, it works. So draw a circle. Draw an arc like this. Okay. Okay. All right. So the next is bring it to this point here. Okay. So and okay. So extend it here from here. Okay. So draw an arc from here. Goes like this. Okay, so bring your compass to this point and you extend it here. Extend it here. So, okay. Alright, so it works. So draw an arc like this. And bring it here. So extend it here. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that is the upper part. So the next thing that we are going to do is that, so we need to walk down here now. So for us to draw the bottom circle, so that's not going to be a complete circle. So what you need to do here now is that so you extend this point, so draw a line from here. So draw a line from here, so draw it inward, and from this point here, so draw a line inward. Okay, now so from this point here on the mid of that 80 mm, which is 40 mm, so draw a vertical line, and here also come to this point here, so draw a vertical line. Draw a vertical line. Okay, so now, so this will be transferred to the other side from this point. So draw a line from here to the other side and do the same thing here, so that we can get the midpoint and get the center of that square at the bottom. Okay, so this is it. So next thing that we're going to do is that, so from this point here, from this point, the point of intersection of the line that we drew from here and here, so measure 30 mm, because the diameter of the bottom circle is 60 mm, so you take 30 from that point, this point here, so take 30 mm, so take 30 mm to this side and here, so we also have 30 mm here, so we have 30 mm here, so here we have 30 mm, so here's the point. And you also do the same thing on this side, do the same thing on this side, so this is 30 and this is also 30. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is that we produce a square, so produce a square. Okay, so okay, so next is we are going to join this point and this point together, so join them together with a straight line. Okay. So it goes like this, and then so you join this point here, this point, join it to this point, and this also join it to this point, so it goes like this. Okay, and then join this, then here, so join this point to this point here. Then so you also join it to this point. Okay, so we have this point, so we have this point, so we have this point here, and then we have this point. So put your compass at this point. Okay, now so put your compass at this point, so extend it here, extend it to this point here. Okay, alright, so then we draw an arc from here, so draw an arc like this. Okay, so the next is put your compass here and extend it here, then you draw an arc, so the arc goes like this. So when it touch this straight line, so you stop it. When you touch this line, you just stop it there. Okay, so you have it like this. So we don't need it to go to the other side, so we just need it on that side, so put it here, and okay, then so do the same thing. When it touch this line, so you stop it there, so you just need to, okay, so it go up a little bit. This is it. Alright, so that's what we need. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to draw a line from here that will join this arc. So this is it. So draw a line like this. Okay, and then so from here, so draw a line. Alright, so this is it. So this is it. So we have produced the dustbin. So this is dustbin. So this is how it will look. So we have produced it. So it's as simple as I explained it here. So all you need to do is to practice and then subscribe to my YouTube channel so that whenever I upload a new video you get a notification. So like the channel and also share it with friends. I really appreciate your love by coming to my channel to learn technical drawing. So I will still solve more questions on that have to do with the use of isometric circle. I'll still solve more questions so that you can find it easy as I've said. So thank you very much.